Hey guys, and welcome to the Girl with the Shovel. Today we are talking about money tree plant care and what you need to do to keep your money tree alive. First, I wanted to talk about money tree light requirements. Now, here is my money tree, and I've had him quite a while. He's gotten pretty tall, a lot taller than he was at the beginning. He was about this tall, and now he's grown up here. And I will tell you that I had him in low light situations. Now, they say that money tree can do well in low light, but I found that actually to not be true. I had a lot of smaller leaves. It just didn't grow as well or as quickly, and it just didn't do as well overall. Money tree can actually do well in bright light and even tolerate some direct sunlight. Okay, so I've moved this. It was a couple feet away from an east-facing window, and instead I moved it right in the windowsill of a north-facing window, and it has been loving it. All of these leaves are a lot bigger, a lot better. It's been a lot healthier, growing a lot faster, and even it hasn't been as stretched. All the spaces between these nodes are a lot smaller, which means that over here, where it was in low light situations, it was getting really leggy and long and lanky, and it just was not doing well. So that being said, keep your money tree in some brighter light. I would not put it in those low light situations, even though it could survive, but it just won't do very well. Next is money tree water requirements. Now, money trees actually like a good amount of water, but they like to dry out in between waterings. As long as it dries in between waterings, you should be good. And as long as it doesn't stay wet for like 2 weeks, or I would say if it stays wet for a week and doesn't dry out, then it's too much water. You don't have enough drainage, you don't have the right soil. So I'd switch that out. I've noticed that money tree does well in ceramic pots. It just helps get it that wet, dry situation that money tree likes. I've also heard that you can water your money tree with ice cubes, but there was another video that I watched, I will add that link below, where they watered their money tree with ice cubes for 5 months and it did not do well. So don't water your money tree with ice cubes. For money tree soil, I would definitely go with something a little bit lighter, something with a bit more perlite in it, maybe even an indoor plant mix or potting soil that has added perlite into it, or maybe some sand if you have a bigger money tree and you're worried about it falling over. Add some sand, great drainage, and gives it a little bit of weight. But you want to make sure that it is able to dry out in between waterings, and if it isn't drying out after about a week or so, you definitely need to increase drainage, and soil type is definitely one of those things that you can change. Add a bit more perlite, add a bit more sand to make sure that it's draining well. My money tree is actually drying out a little too frequently, so I can either repot into something a bit bigger, or I can trim this down so it isn't using as much water and kind of have a bit more bonsai effect for my money tree. I'm actually going to be doing that because money tree likes to be a bit root bound, and these stems are still pretty small. So the fact that these stems aren't really filling up the pot yet, I don't want to repot it into something bigger and then have stem rot issues. So I'm going to be trimming it back, let it fill out this pot a little bit more, and then I might think about repotting it once it starts drying out every day or two, so I have to keep watering it more. That's when it'll tell me, oh, it's time to repot this plant. As for fertilizer, money tree isn't actually too particular, they just like to be fed. So if you have a regular indoor plant fertilizer or a different routine for your other houseplants, just carry it over to this guy as well. They like to be fed every 2 weeks or so in the active growing season. So like mine is actively growing, is putting off a lot of new leaves. So I'd feed it every 2 weeks with a balanced indoor plant fertilizer. And then for winter, with the lower temperatures, your money tree won't be using as much water. So that is going to be your main concern, is to cut back on your watering. The biggest problem with money tree in the winter is overwatering. Pretty much every houseplant in the winter gets overwatered. So make sure that you decrease your watering during the winter time so that you don't have problems with root rot. This plant also might have some issues with temperatures, so make sure that it doesn't stay right next to any exterior doors, any doors that might be a little drafty. Money tree also likes higher humidity levels, so consider putting it on a pebble tray filled with water, maybe grouping it with some other humidity-loving plants, or maybe putting it closer to a humidifier if you have one. I know a lot of plant parents, when they're first starting out, don't have one, or you have so many houseplants that it raises the indoor humidity levels anyways. So just make sure that this guy gets a little bit more humidity. He will thank you, and he will definitely drop fewer leaves with that increased humidity. Also, during the winter time, you want to make sure that your money tree isn't right next to a heater vent, because that heater vent will actually blow warm air, yes, but it will also be very dry air. So it will actually dry out your houseplant if your plant is in that direct line of the heater vent. So I would just make sure that it is protected during the winter, especially from cold drafts and from heat vents, so it will stay happy for you in the winter. And then the last thing is pruning. Now you can see my money tree is actually getting pretty tall. You can braid these upper stalks, but a lot of times, like you can see here, they cut it a lot lower. Let me show you here. So they actually started cutting it right here. And so because of that, anything that I'll be braiding here will still have that joint right here. And I don't really like that look, so I'm just going to keep trimming it down so that it gets a bit more bushy, a bit more full right around this area. So all that being said means that if you want these big, beautiful leaves, I figured out the 2 keys to that is plenty of bright sunlight, not hot, but bright, and then also fertilizer. Fertilizer, lots of sunlight. It will definitely give you these wonderful big leaves. That is it for my money tree plant care tips. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to see even more plant care videos so that your plants are thanking you, because they will thank you. And then if you want more information about money trees and how to care for them, go ahead and check out my blog post where I talk a little bit more about exactly what they want, the soil requirements, the pot types, lots of different stuff like that. I'll leave it in the comments below so you can hit that link and check it out. And then in the next video, we're going to talk about money tree troubleshooting. So yellow leaves, brown leaves, curling leaves, the small leaves, you name it, we're going to talk about it. So if you are having issues, you don't know what your plant is trying to tell you, go ahead and check out the next video, and I will see you then. See this? See that? That's my cat. He's been going crazy.